Chapter 9 of The Adventures of Tommy Blake by Brother Ernest Ryan. This Librivox Recording is in the public domain. In a Strange Land. Tommy awoke to find himself in a clean, soft bed. His head, which before he had fallen off into that merciful sleep was as hot as an oven, was now partially covered by an ice pack. Where was he? He looked around in an endeavor to identify the room. Was he back in jail? No, everything was new to him, but he could tell by the sun's rays striking the porch outside his bedroom window that the time was morning. In spite of the ice pack, Tommy's head still throbbed when he moved it, and the pains in his stomach were almost as sharp as when he fell asleep the night before. They brought a groan from his lips. He made an effort to rise, and then for the first time he realized that he was not alone. A hand was placed upon his head, and the voice of a stranger gave command. "Lie still, my boy." Tommy jerked as if he had been stung. "Where am I?" he asked nervously. "Don't worry about that. How do you feel? Tell me, my boy. I'm a doctor." "My head aches so, and so does my stomach. Can you give me something for my stomach?" "What did you have to eat last?" "Nothing all day, Doctor." The doctor's eyes opened wide. "Nothing?" he exclaimed in amazement. "And I got bitten by a snake," continued Tommy. "Where?" "On my right hand." "Let me see it quickly." Tommy pulled his hand from under the cover. "Oh, look, it's all swelled up, and my head aches so. Can't you give me something for that?" "Yes, but tell me about the snake. Did you see it?" "Not a real look. I tried to find it after it bit me, but I couldn't." "Did you drink any water from the lake?" "Not a drop, Doctor." "Now just lie still there, my boy. What is your name?" "Tommy." "Fine. Just lie still, Tommy, until I can prepare some medicine for you." "Am I in a hospital, Doctor?" asked Tommy uneasily. "No, you're not in a hospital, but you should be. That's where I would like to take you. You will need good care for some time." Tommy made no further effort to rise. Indeed, he was too sick to do so. But he was enough himself to be glad that he was in the care of a physician. He knew it would be impossible for him to continue his journey as long as he was sick, so the sooner he was made better, the sooner he could leave. "Now take all of this, Tommy. You may find it quite warm, but you must get it inside you. You are really a sick boy. Now down with it. That's fine. It is hot, isn't it?" "Yes, Doctor, it is, but it isn't so bad. I don't mind if it will help me get rid of these awful pains." "I really think it will, Tommy. Now try to sleep again." There was something in his voice which Tommy could not resist. It reminded him a little of his English teacher's, and he found its sound reassuring. No longer was he worried about his surroundings. He was certain he was not at the villa, and for the time being that was all that mattered. When he should be feeling better he would try to find out more about where he was. The doctor might even help him make his escape. Tommy went to sleep again almost as soon as he closed his eyes. That medicine the doctor had given him felt fiery indeed, but it also made him feel very drowsy. Tommy did not realize, as the doctor did, the seriousness of his case. An hour later he was awakened for a second dose of medicine, imperative for counteracting the poison in his system. "You had a good sleep, my boy," said the doctor as he poured it out. "That's splendid. Just what you need. Do you feel any better?" "My stomach doesn't ache quite so much, Doctor." "Are you as hot as you were?" "Not quite." "That's good, Tommy. I'm glad to hear it. Now here's another kind of medicine. You'll find it isn't quite so hot as the first, but I hope it will make you feel even better." "Doctor, was that medicine supposed to make me sleep?" "No, my boy. You were sleepy from fever. Do you know how long you were laying out on the lake shore? Or could you tell me when you were bitten?" "No, I don't know for sure how long I slept, but I think it was only since yesterday afternoon. How did I get in this house, Doctor?" "Now, don't be worrying about that. Try to sleep again. That is the best thing in the world for you. You are among friends, and you need have no fears of any kind. Tomorrow, when your fever is down and the pains are not quite so bad as they are now, we will be able to discuss other things. For the time being I want you to sleep as much as you can." "And when will I be able to have something to eat, Doctor? I'm not exactly hungry, but I was wondering when I could get another good meal." "We'll see. It all depends on how quickly you respond to the medicine." The house was entirely dark when Tommy woke again. Everything in the place was filled with the peace of night. Only the insects out in the fields could be heard. He felt much better. The pains had entirely left his stomach, and his mind was clearer than it had been for some time. He put his hand up to his head and realized, from the feel of the ice pack, that someone had been replenishing it from time to time while he slept. A cold breeze blew in through the open window. For a brief space Tommy lay there enjoying the comfort he now felt. Then he slipped off to sleep again. He opened his eyes a little after 8 the following morning. He was feeling almost normal again when the doctor made his appearance in the bedroom. Not long afterward, the boy greeted him eagerly. "Good morning, Doctor." "Good morning, Tommy. My, you're awake early. How do you feel this morning?" "I feel much better, thank you. I've had a fine night's sleep. Only woke up once." "I'm glad to hear that. Let me take your temperature." In the moments that followed, Tommy got a good look at the doctor. He felt sure that he could like this man. There was something fatherly about him, a quality which he had found entirely wanting in Basil Kensington. "Well, Tommy, the fever is gone. Your temperature is right where it should be, and I'm sure that after a few days of rest here in bed you will be feeling fine." "I feel as if I could eat something today, Doctor. Do you think I can?" "I will leave orders for your meals, and I will be back to see you in the morning. You are not to get up until then." The doctor departed, leaving Tommy a little disappointed, for he wanted to have a talk with him. He consoled himself, however, with the thought that someone was to bring him a breakfast, and he would perhaps find out from that person just where he was. He felt he would like to know the name of his host, and if he could, without giving himself away, find out how far he was from the villa. About 20 minutes later a man entered the room with a tray on which was a breakfast in keeping with the boy's condition. "Good morning, sir," said Tommy very pleasantly. "Not so loud. Good morning." When the waiter drew closer to him, Tommy, to his great surprise, recognized him as Charlie, the man who had taken him away from Lawson. As Tommy did not quite know what to say in reference to those past events, he replied instead to the man's last speech. "Why do you want me to talk in a whisper? Is someone sleeping?" "There is another sick person in the house, and we must be very quiet for his sake. Now, the doctor wants you to eat all of this, but to eat it very slowly. Be sure to follow his instructions. I am not going to stay here with you while you are eating." What the man had to say did not interest the young patient as much as his own speculations about him. "Isn't your name Charlie?" he asked. The man stared at him coldly. "Yes, my name is Charlie. What of it?" "Oh, I don't want to offend you," responded Tommy. "Who said you offended me?" Tommy was at a loss for an answer, but the waiter continued. "I wish you hadn't come here at all. When I first found you that night down by the lake, I had a good notion to let you lie there and die. I don't know why I ever brought you up here. You were just a nuisance." Tommy felt entirely crushed. "I'm sorry if I've been a bother to you, sir. I will leave just as soon as the doctor will let me." "Well, he'll let you get out of here very soon now. I will make it my business to get you back to the villa within a few days." "Please, sir, I don't want to go back to the villa. I hate that place. Where is my father? I've written to him several times and he doesn't answer my letters. He never used to treat me like this." "Never mind where your father is. It is his wish that you stay at the villa until school starts again, and then you are to go back to the academy. Basil Kensington knows that, and I suppose he doesn't mail your letters. If you are complaining against the place, do you think he will let your complaints get out? He's not a fool." "But I don't like him." "Get busy now and eat your breakfast. I'll be back in a few minutes." Then Charlie was gone. For a long moment Tommy felt stunned. Then reason returned to him. It was plain that this man was not to be fooled with. So although the interview had robbed him of his desire to eat, Tommy determinedly began on his breakfast. If he would be successful in his attempt to escape, he must build up his strength. Experience had already taught him that the world is cruel when one has to make one's way alone. Tommy was still thinking about these things when the door opened and Charlie once more came toward the bed. "Don't be in any hurry, Tommy. I have been thinking this thing over since I left you. I don't believe you told me how you happened to be along the lake that night." "You didn't ask me, so I didn't think you were interested. But if you want to know, I'll tell you. I didn't like it at the villa. They put me in jail there for trying to run away, and when I got out, I made up my mind that I would run away for good." "And what do you think your father will say to that? No doubt Kensington has written to him about it by now." "I don't know what my father would think about it, and I really don't care. He hasn't treated me right. What did he take me away from my mother for? Is that any way to treat her?" "I haven't anything to say about that, Tommy, but I can tell you this. You will have to go back to the villa. As a representative of your father, and as one who knows his ambitions for you, I can safely say that you must return. In a couple of days you will be able to travel, and I'll have to see to it that you get there. I'll take your tray out now. Try to get in as much sleep as you can. I'll see you later." Charlie withdrew at once, and a moment after the door closed. Tommy heard the key turn in the lock. It was a very unwelcome sound to him. He knew that he was in the care of one who could not be bribed to let him go. About 10 o'clock the following morning the doctor called again. "How are you this morning, Tommy?" "I'm feeling fine again, doctor. Do you think I can get up today?" "Are you in a hurry?" "No, but I don't want to be a burden. I understand there is someone else sick here too." "Well, I think it wouldn't hurt you to get up for a while this afternoon," replied the doctor pleasantly. "I wouldn't stay up too long. You'll find you are pretty weak when you get on your feet. Fever pulls one down in a hurry, you know. I see no reason why you shouldn't gradually resume your regular meals. I won't have to come to see you any more. So good bye." Despite the friendly words and manner, Tommy could not help but notice how the doctor had passed over the fact that there was another patient in the house. He listened too to detect whether the door of his room would be locked after the doctor went out. It was not a loud sound, but Tommy heard it. A few minutes later he got out of his bed. He wanted to determine a few things for himself, and it did not take him long to do so. The first thing he found out was that the doctor's warning was true. He was weaker than he had thought. The next was that the windows were heavily screened so that he could not get out. The third was that the prospect from one of his windows was of a long lane cut through the trees, which otherwise were as thick as in a forest, straight on to a pier stretching out into the lake. As Tommy made his way back to bed, he could not but reflect that he had escaped from one jail only to get into another. Other thoughts weighed upon him also. How was it that this man Charlie was here? Who could the mysterious other patient be? These things disturbed his mind until he dropped off to sleep, overcome by the fatigue of his brief exercise. Dusk was already gathering when Charlie came into the room again. "Here's a good supper for you, Tommy," he began. "The doctor wants you to go back to the villa in the morning. He says he thinks you will get along better if you were there in the company of the others rather than here, and that I can drive you over tomorrow, though you'll have to take it easy when you get there. I may not get back to see you any more this evening. I'm very busy. If there is anything you really need, you can push the button on the side of your bed. I forgot to tell you about it before. Have a good night's sleep. I'll see you in the morning." Charlie left, and the key clicked in the lock once more. End of chapter 9.